of December 2024. I have Councillor Carmichael. Don't have Councillor Chalmers. We'll contact her. Thank you. I have Councillor Clark, Councillor Devlin, Councillor Dewar. Councillor Mary Donnelly has submitted apologies. I have Councillor Faulkner as the chair. I have Councillor Handybod. I don't seem to have Councillor Horn. I have Councillor Martin Grant Hosey. I have Councillor Cal Johnson Dempsey. I have Councillor Gavin Wiley Keat. I have Councillor McCreary. Councillor Leslie MacDonald. I don't have Councillor McGeever. I have Councillor McLaughlin. Don't have Councillor Nelson. Councillor Razak. Councillor Ross. Councillor Bert Thompson and Councillor Toner. We have a number of officers present and 2 officers from Routes to Work South who the Chair will introduce you to, and I'll now hand over to the Chair. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Right, item 1, declaration of interest. Do we have any declaration of interest? No? Okay. Item 2, minutes of the previous meeting, pages 3 to 4. Do we approve the minutes? Seconded. Nothing arising. Item 3, Routes to Works South presentation, Nicola McNaughton and Stephen Barr.
Thank you, Chair. For anyone not familiar with Routes to Work South is a charity dedicated to the alleviation of poverty in South Lanarkshire. We deliver a whole range of different services on behalf of South Lanarkshire Council, along with South Lanarkshire Leisure. We are the only other organisation whose accounts are incorporated into South Lanarkshire accounts on an annual basis. We work with thousands of local residents in South Lanarkshire and hundreds of local businesses. My colleague, Nicola McNaughton, is going to take you into a bit more detail in terms of the services that we deliver, what Routes to Work South do on a daily basis.
Thanks, Stephen, and thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today. As Stephen has highlighted, Routes to Work South is a charitable organisation and an arm's-length organisation of South Lanarkshire Council. We have been successfully delivering employability services to residents throughout South Lanarkshire for almost 20 years, and as highlighted, we are committed to alleviating poverty. And within the slide you can see there is a number of key objectives that we focus on in order to make that possible. Our charitable status brings with it many benefits to South Lanarkshire Council, and I will touch on that as we go through the presentation. Put your mic a bit closer, sorry. Thank you. Thanks. As an organisation, we have a clear vision and mission, which is achieved through the delivery of inclusive person-centred services, ensuring that no one is left behind. As Stephen has indicated, we support thousands of local people every year, coming to us with a mixture of complex barriers. Routes to Work South continues to provide significant added value to South Lanarkshire Council and local residents, and in the last 10 years alone we've generated over £30 million for the local economy. Each year we provide savings to South Lanarkshire Council, and I would draw your attention to the statistic in the top right hand corner. Whereby we provide savings of over £500,000 every year. This is achieved through us leasing the CTEC building in Cambuslang. As a registered charity, we benefit from rates relief, and the rateable value of that property is circa £300,000, which would be payable annually by the council, not to mention the running costs. If I can draw your attention to the statistic in the middle of the slide Over £9 million has been secured in new and additional services benefiting local residents throughout this time. This is funding that Roots to Work South has secured through numerous different organisations, including Job Centre Plus, Skills Development Scotland, Scottish Government and organisations such as Big Lottery. This is funding that is effectively ring-fenced and would not otherwise be available to local authorities. Roots to Work South has been making a difference to local people since 2005, and in the last 10 years alone we have provided support to over 19,000 South Lanarkshire residents. Probably the most impressive statistic within that slide is in the bottom left-hand corner, and that is 3 job starts achieved every single day, highlighting the impact that the company continues to make and the lives that we continue to change on a daily basis. Roots to Work South's delivery of our services is an integral part of South Lanarkshire Council's local employability partnership, South Lanarkshire Works, and an overview of the services is provided within the slides. Each of the programmes detailed above incorporates a key worker-based delivery model designed to support a number of key priority groups. South Lanarkshire Works delivery combines a wide range of services from one-to-one support through to training and different skills interventions, as noted above, which also include things such as volunteering and sector-based work academies linked to local need. I think we've just skipped a wee page there. We had included a link to Cook and Learn. Unfortunately, we're not able to share that video with you today, but I understand the presentation has been circulated. Cook and Learn is a new initiative for Roots to Work South, and if you haven't already done so, I would certainly encourage you to go on and have a look at it. Cook and Learn comprises 3 distinct elements. It is a local community cafe, which provides employment opportunities for local people. It delivers a bespoke training programme, and there is also a pantry aspect to it. But most importantly, it provides local people with a positive pathway and access to all of the services that are available through the local employability partnership. Roots to Work Services provides support, as you can see from the slide, across all 5 stages of the employability pipeline, from initial engagement through to skills and training, and most importantly, through to sustained employment. It's much more than just getting someone a job, it's about helping them sustain and build a career. Our adult services are aimed at supporting those residents furthest removed, aged 18 plus, with barriers to employment, and we have included some examples within the slide, but that is not an exhaustive list. Our youth service delivery complements South Lanarkshire Council's Aspire Work service and combines one-to-one support with group training and provides participants with access to a dedicated youth hub. All of the services that Roots to Work South deliver contribute to the achievement of South Lanarkshire Council's strategic plans, including, as highlighted within the slide, improving school leaver destinations and increasing employability, thereby positively impacting local residents. Again. There we go. Sorry. The future of employability. For those that aren't aware, the employability landscape has changed considerably in recent years, and as an organisation, we have continued to adapt our service delivery to ensure we continue to meet the needs of local people moving forward. I have highlighted a number of things that we consider to be a focus going forward, and I'm going to really focus on the first two as a priority. Increase and expand pathways and routes into work, and creation of new and additional services. I touched on earlier, Cook and Learn. This is a really good example of increasing pathways for a lot of our customers that come to us, perhaps because of the circumstances they find themselves in. Employability isn't at the forefront of their mind, so we've got a lot to do in terms of personal development, skills development, before we then look to introduce employability, and that's why it's important that we look at innovative ways of engaging people and getting them the right support. Creating new and additional services. Routes to Work South has reinvested in previous years' surpluses to support our local residents. We have been able to do that this year with the agreement of our board and created the WIN project, What I Need in Life. That project is currently piloting in 2 areas at the moment, one of which is Blantyre, and is aimed at supporting those who are economically inactive within their local communities by providing early stage interventions focused on health and wellbeing, personal development, and setting longer term goals and aspirations, as I've highlighted, before then linking them into mainstream employability services. I have brought with me today, and I'm aware that some of them have already been circulated, a copy of our recently published 23-24 annual impact report to share with members to highlight, as I've said before, the positive impact we continue to make to South Lanarkshire's communities. We would love nothing more than for members to come and witness firsthand the fantastic work that we do, and Stephen or I would be happy to host visits in any of the 4 of our employability hubs. The one that's probably most pertinent to members today is the co-location that we have with Skills Development Scotland in Brandon House. So please, I would encourage you on the back of today's meeting to please reach out to Stephen and myself for more information.
Okay, thanks very much for that. Have we any questions? Councillor Devlin.
Thanks very much for your report. It's really quite interesting. Just a wee question. I was wondering, what do you find are the biggest obstacles in you for achieving the right outcomes for your clients? Thanks.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's the biggest obstacle, but I think there needs to be recognition in terms of the customers that we're working with. As I've said, the landscape has changed, so clients are much further removed, and by that, what happens is, in terms of their journey, it takes far longer. So the different interventions that we need to put in place, historically, if I take you back, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, people would come through our doors and within 3 months, if not sooner, would be walking back out and into a job. We're now working with clients that some of them are coming through our doors and haven't worked for 18 years. So in some cases, that journey can take up to 2 years, and there needs to be an appreciation of that there is work in progress. And as long as the clients are making positive steps forward, we need to recognise those small milestones.
Thank you. I'm skipping ahead. I'm on to your annual impact report here and our approach. I mean, this is just truly wonderful, all the things you do. Anyway, I am looking at the age groups of people. I mean, this is astounding. So 16 to 24, 36.6%, which is, I suppose, understandable. But 25 to 49, you're at nearly 39%. I know you're nodding because you've read, I'm reading this, right? And then you've got 50 to 64 at 23.6%. That's absolutely incredible. And then you get even higher at 65 plus. That's us. Hi, she's talking for herself, by the way. 0.85%. Seriously. And no doubt these are correct, but it's frightening really, isn't it, when you see those figures? Sorry, that was my question, is how difficult is it for people probably who are 50 to 64 in approaching yourselves? Because I'm sure they've probably worked previously, maybe been made redundant. So is it more difficult to react with them, or to have them react with you and approach you in the first place?
Okay. I think you're right to highlight it. It can certainly be more daunting for them to engage with us, particularly when we see those 50 plus coming through our doors. It's, as you've highlighted, maybe someone that has had a career and worked for the last 30 years for a particular company and found themselves redundant. Therefore, their initial thought is, what have I got to offer a new employer? And that's part of what we do with them, is look at the transferable skills and everything that they can offer an employer. In terms of the 50 plus demographic, we've seen a change in that in recent years, and COVID has played a part in that. I think that as we moved into COVID, some people assessed their own circumstances and felt that maybe as they were being made redundant, that maybe now was time to focus on perhaps retirement. But coming out of it, coupled with cost of living and various other different things, they're recognising that they don't have the financial stability to perhaps move forward on that basis. So we're seeing an upturn in the number of 50 plus that are coming through our services, but we're happy to support, and we see the benefits that these people can bring, not just in terms of transferable skills, but in terms of their experience. They've been there, seen that, done it, and sometimes that's what an employer is looking for. And I mean, only in the last year, I think we moved someone that was 67 into part-time employment because they approached us for support. So we won't turn anyone away.
That's absolutely tremendous. Thank you, and thank you for your presentation. We will come and see you, and it will be next year, of course. Unless you've got shortbread and whatever. Thank you very much. You do. Keep it. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Councillor. Now, Councillor McCreary.
Thanks, Chair, and thanks, Nicola.
No. We'll take Councillor Thompson to rearrange that.
Okay, thanks very much, Chair. Very impressive report, really good. I've worked with them in the past a long time ago, and I'm glad to see you're going from strength to strength. My only maybe concern is, can you tell me or guarantee me, how's the sustainability going to be keeping this project funded?
Thank you. As an arm's length organisation of the Council, we have obviously highlighted the vast majority of our funding comes from South Lanarkshire Council, but as we've highlighted over the last 9 years, we have been able to access funding from other sources. It is our intention going forward to continue to do that because that benefits local residents. There continues to be a focus on employability. I think there always will be. There will perhaps be a shift in terms of the demographic and the clients that perhaps need our support, and we will see different trends. I touched on economic inactivity. That has increased significantly, and therefore I think that will be a focus over the next 2 to 3 years, and perhaps that's where funding will be allocated. But because of the organisation we are able to adapt and flex based on obviously what Scottish Government potentially is looking for, and obviously they're providing that funding to local authorities through No One Left Behind.
You're telling me then basically we're guaranteed in the short term anyway, hopefully a long term, yes.
Yes.
And the one in Blantyre, if I don't mind touching on that, could you give me any indication where it is? I didn't know it was actually based or a project going in Blantyre. Thanks, sir.
The data zone area, from memory, I can't remember, but I can certainly come back to you on that.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, so
that'd be fine, right.
I'll pick up with you after today.
Right, thanks for that. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Could you repeat that? No. If he comes back in, we'll let him back. If I could, sorry. Mo?
Thanks, Chair. A couple of the training cafe. You were talking about training cafe. Whereabouts is it? And it would be good to arrange a visit as well. The other thing was I was looking at the statistics and toting them up. That the BME statistics is 10.09%, which is higher than the population average. So is there a reason for that? Is there an explanation of that?
What we tend to find within certain community groups where we receive higher numbers, it's because of word of mouth. So what's happening is they are experiencing our service firsthand, have been really impressed by the support that's been on offer, and that's why the numbers are slightly higher, because they're coming through that pathway. And sorry, I should have said the cafe, apologies. Cook and Learn is the community cafe, and it's based within CTEC in Cambuslang. So we'd be more than happy for you to arrange a visit, meet the staff and see the training initiative that's been provided as part of that.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. The second part was I was looking at the conditions, and I noticed that mental health conditions 44.32%, which is a big chunk of that. So well done for that, for helping towards that. And I think that's a great initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you hear me this time? Can you hear me this time?
Hear you, yes.
Ah, good. Okay. So I've got two questions really. One is how do people find you? Or indeed perhaps it's how do you find them, the people that need your services? Kind of sounds a bit like you're doing the work that the job centres used to do and probably no longer do. Second question is, how many people do you currently have under your wing, if you like? Thank you.
Thank you. In terms of how people find us, we have 4 hubs located throughout South Lanarkshire. They're centralised hubs, one in East Kilbride, one in Hamilton, one in Cambuslang and one in the rural area. We have quite a significant online presence through social media and marketing that we do, and we also have robust partnerships and referral pathways in place with various partners, Job Centre Plus, etc. And also through the word of mouth community. Some of the members may have seen in the last year that we've recently done a few television ads in terms of raising the profile of the organisation, which on the back of that, it's certainly generated awareness to residents, and they've contacted us on the back of that. In terms of the number of people we are working with at the moment, there is probably close to, now we're only midway point through the year in terms of reporting our stats, but there's at least 1,000, if not more, local residents that we're currently working with on an annual basis. We tend to work with thousands of people, some directly with our services, some where we signpost to other specialised provision with the view that they then come back to us and we provide that wraparound support.
Do you have any link up with social work? I know North and South Lanarkshire recently set up an academy to encourage young people to get into the social care field. Do you have a link up with them to do that? And the other one is just similar. Do you have a link up with the local university, University of West of Scotland? Thank you.
Yes, we do have connections with the various council departments through social work to housing, and we do get a number of referrals and link into those services in order to provide young people and young adults with the appropriate support. We have links with both universities and colleges in the local area, because we recognise that employment just isn't the only outcome. For some people, they want to move into education because that will support a longer term career. So that's certainly something that we do, in particular with the work that we do with employers. We often link up with colleges and universities to talk about their graduates and the potential to provide opportunities for them.
Any further questions? No? Okay, thanks very much for that presentation, Nicola and Stephen. If you wish, you can remain for the rest of the meeting or leave and get on with other work. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, bye.
We're now on to item 4, Hamilton Common Good Fund Update Report. Graham Booth. Right, Graham.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members. The purpose of this report is to provide an update on the Hamilton Common Good Fund, and sections 3 to 5 provide a bit of background in terms of the management and administration of the Common Good Funds, and also noting that a Common Good Update report is presented to the Finance and Corporate Resources Committee at least twice a year. Section 6 details the financial position for the year ended 31st of March 2024, with the audited accounts for the Hamilton Common Good accounts forming part of the Council's accounts, and these were approved at the Risk and Audit Scrutiny Committee on 24th of September 2024. Appendix 1 shows that at the end of 2023-24, the balance invested in South Lanarkshire Council's Loans Fund for Hamilton is £596,000. At Section 7, we're providing an up-to-date position, including the planned maintenance and committed projects for the Hamilton Common Good Fund. And as noted previously, the balance invested in the South Lanarkshire Council's Loans Fund is £596,000. As well as the cash balances, the Common Good account also holds assets, and these are detailed in Appendix 2 for information. And that's provided at the back. And a summary of the income and expenditure for 23-24 is shown in Table 1 on page 7, and that's shown total income of the year for the year of 191,000 and spend for the year of 93,000. Below the table, there at 7.4, we're just noting that the repairs and maintenance costs incurred during the year are in relation to a damaged wall at Hamilton Palace Retail Park and also the installation of bollards. And at section 7.5, again, there's a bit of a further breakdown of the 64,000 in relation to payments to other bodies, and that includes the grants to the voluntary organisations throughout the year, the contributions to civic events, and also our grounds maintenance costs. At section 8, we're outlining that there are no new commitments against the planned maintenance budget of 15,000 for financial year 2024-25. Section 9 provides further information on the Hamilton Town Centre Master Plan, with 100,000 from the Hamilton Common Good approved to facilitate the initial stage of design works, and basically have a project at detailed design stage when the funding applications are invited. Finally, at section 10, we're providing information on the consultations on the Common Good assets, and at the moment there are currently no consultations on either new lease arrangements or changes of use. I would then refer committee back to the recommendation in section 2 of the report that the background information and update on the Hamilton Common Good Fund be noted. Happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Graham. Any questions? Councillor Mafuzik.
Thank you, Chair. On page 7, you've put the income as 191 total income, expenditure of 93, but you put net deficit for the year. Surely that's a net surplus for the year.
Sorry, yes, you're correct. That should be a net surplus within the brackets for deficits there. So yeah, apologies, we can get that fixed, but it's a surplus for the year.
Okay. And second part was, I noticed you have leases through with Hamilton Palace grounds and everything. When is the rent review for the leases for the properties that you have renting out? I've not noticed any mention of it in the previous reports either.
I can find that out for you just in terms of when we're due to undertake that next rent review and get back to you following the meeting if that's the case. I'm not very sure off the top of my head, but no, I can find out that information just when that next one's due.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Chair. It's just on Castle Glen Local Nature Reserve. The last information I had regarding there's significant damage to one of the boardwalks and the ground beneath it. The last update I had was that Grounds were seeking a quick quote to estimate the cost of repair works. As this has been an ongoing situation since about February 2023, I'm just looking to see if there's any update available regarding this. Has a quote estimate been received? And if so, as the repair will be almost certainly beyond the realm of not routine maintenance, when would it be expected for a report to go to the Financial and Corporate Resources Committee?
Again, I'm not aware of the specifics in that, just in terms of the thing, but I'll check with our procurement colleagues and to say just in terms of that quick quote. But no, that would we can certainly look into that, and that would form part of the next report to Finance and Corporate Resources Committee. And as I say, I appreciate if that one's been outstanding for a while, but I will get an update on that and can provide an update back to members.
Councillor Devlin.
Thanks, Chair. It's just a question, maybe I should know, and I don't know, I'll put my hands up. When you look at Appendix 2 and just down at the former Vogue and Bingo Hall in the cinema bit, it says it's an asset. If memory, that has gone to Clyde Valley Housing, but does the facade to the front of it remain our asset? I don't know.
I think that's my understanding of it, that the front remains ours, but again, I can double check that out, but that's why it's on it, just in terms of still, for us, that's why it's still coming under as our asset.
Just on that, so did Clyde Valley no give us that back?
Maybe I should, but senior moment.
Waspies. Okay, any further questions? Oh, Councillor McLaughlin.
Thanks, Chair. I think the Clyde Valley were offered it and they had looked at it, but after realising how much work was involved, they didn't go ahead with it. So I don't think a transaction actually took place. It's something that we considered ourselves, but the work to try and convert that into flats is just too much. So that's why Clyde Valley no longer want it or need it. And it's just too difficult and expensive to convert it. So it remains with us. That's my understanding.
Okay, thanks for that. Any further questions?
Sorry, it was just to clarify as well that yes, we did get that funding back. So it's just to come back on that we did, in terms of that was transferred back to us. So that is sitting back with us at the moment in terms of the funding that was passed over there. So I can confirm that part of it.
But I notice they've got a similar frontage in Canvas Line, no an ex-cinema for a pub, whether they'd be interested. But just a point. Okay, any further questions? Councillor MacDonald.
Yeah, just to say that the facade is listed at the cinema, and it's a completely different facade from the one that's at Campus Line, because I remember at planning at the time being told that they could demolish the whole lot, and one or two of us decided that we would just tell them as it was, and that's why it was retained. They were allowed and have demolished the back part of it, but the front is A-listed and has to be retained. I'm right, yeah? Yes. Terribly diplomatic, yes. Thank you for that.
Okay, thanks for that. No further questions. We agree to note the presentation? Thank you. If you want to leave, right. Thank you. Items for decision. Item 5, community grant applications. Lynn.
Thank you, Chair. This is the standard report submitted in respect of community grant applications. There are 3 applications for consideration and the recommended amounts are in the line with guidance used across the area committees, which was circulated to all members on 31st of May 2022. The summary of financial position is provided in section 5 of the report, but can I refer members back to the recommended amounts detailed in 2.1 for approval. Thank you.
Councillor Ross Clark.
Thank you, Chair. We have a remaining balance in here after considering the grants allocated in the report of over 18,000. And this is the second or the penultimate meeting of the financial year. And even if we awarded the full amounts to all these groups, would still have over, I think, 17,500 left at the end of the year. So considering we've got so much money left over, I would propose that we give all 3 of these applicants the total eligible grant applied for.
Councillor Rosette.
I have a concern about that proposal. The concern for me is the fact that that will be unfair on the previous applicants, and if the previous applicants were to wait till the very end of the year, then that would be then meaning that we will ending it in a top-heavy position, and I think that it would be totally unfair on the previous applicants with this, because the grant would be not in line with all the rest of the payments.
Okay. The grant has been approved under the system that we have developed. For that, we have another meeting. So I would have to say that we agree the report and the recommendation. Speakers there. Oh, sorry. They've all come out there. Councillor.
Thanks, Chair. I was actually just going to come in and say what Mo has said. I think it is unjust that given it out at the end when the ones that had applied at the start don't get the full amount, and the fact that there is an agreed kind of matrix between the 4 areas, that I think we should honour that. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks for that, Councillor Devlin. Councillor Thompson.
Brief there. I know for a fact, and Mo knows well, there's several people in Blantyre, several people waiting to get in with these things, and your new community trust assets, there's people there as well. So definitely people wanting to come in here near the end, and to reflect what Owen Maureen says, it's unfair on ones who have been at the beginning, just get, if they come in at the end, and that'll become a thing that happens all the time, people in the end get a lot. I'm a bit not too sure about it, to be honest. I think we just go with what we've set up in President and continue what we're doing. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thanks for that, Councillor Thompson. Councillor David McLaughlin.
Thanks, Chair. I'd pressed the button then. Councillor Rosette and Councillor Thompson and Councillor Devlin all more or less said what I'm about to say. What Mo had said is exactly what I said round about this time last year. There's a formula, there's a format, there's a process, there's a way of evaluating grant applications. And that process is robust. It's been in place for years and years and years. It's wrong at the end of the year, because you've got extra money, just to grant whatever people have asked for. It's not in keeping with how the system has worked for years. And as I said, and I'm repeating myself from the previous area committee at the end of the 23 financial year, 23-24 financial year, is grossly unfair on other people who have made grant applications and been granted a lesser amount based on the criteria that's been set in stone for a long number of years. So it's wrong to be handing out additional funds to people who have asked for grants at this late stage. And it will, I'm sure, develop a pattern, as been mentioned, where applicants will get wise to this if it becomes a pattern. where we're offloading the money at the end of the financial year. There'll be a pattern developed where people will come in with late applications thinking, well, we'll put in a large amount, we'll likely get that large amount because that's what happens when they've got money left over. It's wrong, it's unfair, and it shouldn't happen, should never have happened in the past, and it should never happen again. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks very much for that, Councillor. I'm of a mind as a chair to approve the recommendation, bearing in mind you have put an amendment, Councillor Clark. Do you have a seconder for your amendment? Councillor Dewar?
Yep, I'm happy to second it. I know it's an established formula, but the formula appears to be to massively underspend each year. In 23-24, even if we'd approved the full amount to everybody, we'd have been £7,000 under. So whilst I understand what our councillors are saying, the solution to this would be to encourage groups across the whole year to put applications in a timely manner, and then you can fairly allocate across the 4 meetings of the year. That's just my opinion.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, we have there's the recommendation and we have the amendment. We'll take a vote. You want to announce?
I'll just run that through with you, members. The motion is to approve the amount of grants allocated within the report. The amendment is to pay the full amounts requested by the organisations.
Okay, so we'll take the motion first. All those in favour of the motion?
Okay, start the vote now.
Right, no, I've not got it. Right. Okay, everybody got it?
Everyone's voted now, thank you. I'll close the
Right.
vote.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the motion is that we approve the recommendation. All those in favour of that, they want to vote just now?
Everyone has voted, thank you. We'll announce that there are 10 votes for the motion and 6 votes for the amendment. I therefore declare the motion is carried. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much for that, Lynn. Okay, we now go on to item 6, urgent business. Before that, can I remind councillors that there's a members' consultation session on the integration plan 25 to 28 immediately following this meeting for that. So we have no notice of any other urgent business. I'll declare the meeting closed and wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care. Cheers.
For those councillors online, we're just starting up the Teams meeting and we're with you shortly.